Hey, Dale.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, hot.
It's 103 degrees out there.
Is it?
It is. Let's start the show.
This, my friends, is the Swish Edition. Live from the Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's Dale and Scott.
Okay, everybody, listen up.
You're listening to the Swish Edition.
It'll be huge.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, it's just another day.
It's not another day. It's the first time we've done the show in 3 weeks.
Hey.
So that's fun.
What about that?
We're on a little hiatus as the world burned down. Oh my goodness. I don't know that I need to say this, but I kind of feel like I need to say this. In case you're new here to the Swish Edition, we're almost 10 years old.
What?
We're going to be 10 years old coming, I think, October.
It feels like it's 10 years in dog years.
I know, right? It feels much longer than that.
70 years old.
But this is originally a podcast about TV and movies and celebrities and travel, and now it has a Las Vegas feel to it because that's where we're based.
Whatever we like.
Whatever we like it, but generally silliness and mostly entertainment. That's it. It's not about politics. We've never said the president's name on this show. I'm pretty sure. We don't talk about politicians. We don't talk about issues of the day. So that doesn't mean we don't have an agenda. We're just not talking about it on this show. I mean, it's kind of like Top Chef, right?
We don't have an agenda.
Top Chef just does food. The Price is Right just does pricing games.
Right.
We just do silliness and pop culture. So we realize there's a lot going on in the world right now. We realize that it's the end of days, maybe. 2020 might be the last year of our lives.
I hear the locusts coming.
There's a lot of issues, but we're not going to be talking about them because everyone else is talking about them.
Yeah, it's kind of too much. It's overload. Don't you need a little break?
And it's
from
not
the news?
It's not that we're not learning. It's not that we don't understand what's going on and that we don't feel we're not with everybody. We love equality and we think everyone should be treated the same, obviously, but we're not going to be talking about it on this show. So there's that, okay?
The more you know.
The more you know.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Let's start out by talking about the fact Dale and I are very excited about this. Las Vegas is reopening. Whether this is good or bad for everyone's health or not, we don't know. I mean, there seems to be a spike right now, but that might be because there's more testing going on.
Well, that's what the governor had said, that the spike is related to the more testing because there's more test available.
But as long as you're smart about it.
Right.
And you wear your damn mask when you go to the grocery store and you sit 100 feet away from other people at restaurants that are now starting to open here in Las Vegas and other parts of the country, you're going to be okay.
But would you agree? Now, this is July 12th.
Yeah.
And not everything is open.
It's not July 12th. It's June 12th. You're
June 12th.
He's skipping ahead.
It's June 12th, and not everything is open.
Right.
And we have gone out. We have gone to, let's name them. We have gone to the Cosmopolitan.
Right. We're there.
We have gone to
yesterday.
the Wynn.
Yes. Oh, the lovely Wynn.
And we have gone to
New York, New York.
New York, New York.
Not the actual city, but the casino here
Right.
in Vegas.
And knowing that the Strip is dead.
Right.
And you can drive down that street now in record time that you couldn't do before.
We drove down yesterday and we saw nearly 5 people.
Right. But what I'm getting to is when you get inside the resorts, it's literally like nothing has happened.
Nothing. It's not very different.
Like the Cosmo was as busy as I would normally have seen it at the time of day that we've gone.
Right. We usually go on a weekday during the middle of the day.
Right.
And it was pretty busy. And I would say all the staff members are wearing masks.
Uh-huh.
Every single one of them.
Lots of hand washing
Stations. And, what do you call it? The Purell stations, that kind of thing. And they've got every other machine either turned off or a seat
Or a
missing.
chair
So you
removed,
can't
yeah.
be sitting as close as Dale and I are right now playing games with someone that you don't know.
But it's fun.
But it's still fun. It's back online. And thank God, because there's so many people here in the Valley. I mean, tourism and casinos are our number one thing here. And without it, these people have no jobs.
Yeah,
So-
and every day I watch the local news, and like McCarran is just adding flights, seeing new flights every day.
So people are coming back
So
to
they're
Las
coming.
Vegas.
They are
Right.
coming. Yeah,
And I wonder if they're going other places. I mean, Disney's going to be reopening sometime in July. National parks are starting to open again. Museums are starting to open with, special, 50% capacity, that
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So I think these are all good things.
yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun.
I don't want anyone else to die, but I also don't want our economy to crash and burn for the rest of humanity. There's some funny stuff happening in Vegas, though. There is a place here in Vegas called Little Darlings. It is sounds like it might be a daycare for little girls, but it's not.
No, it's a daycare for men.
Old horny men. That's right. So Little Darlings is a strip club here in Vegas, and they have a sign out in front of their building that says Corona-free lap dances. So you're not going to get the COVID-19 from your stripper when you get a lap dance.
I love this town.
Isn't that great? It's so fun. Now, there's some bad things happening here in Vegas. Several restaurants here are initiating COVID-19 optional service charges to your restaurant bill. They're putting these automatically on the check, but diners can ask for it to be removed.
And I would.
Right, because it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Listen, if you have extra costs involved in COVID-related stuff, like obviously you can't fill all your tables, you need to have all your waiters wearing masks, you
Right.
need to clean the shit out of everything,
And I get that.
up your damn prices.
Just up the prices.
This is the
It doesn't need to be a line item.
the nickel and diming of America, which I hate so much. It's like when you go to a hotel and they want to charge you for the internet. Just make it part of the friggin' cost of renting the hotel room.
Right.
The internet is included because everyone wants it and everyone's going to need it.
Right.
I don't want to be charged an extra $10 for that.
Exactly. A day.
Put it into
Put it
the
in
bill.
the bill price.
It's so stupid. I hate fucking people. I hate everybody. We all know that. If you've listened to the show, you know I hate everybody. I hate all of you. No, that's not true. I love all of our listeners, and I hate 95% of everyone else. I like about 5% of people. Is that right? Or maybe a little more.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll tell you, we had a problem with our DirecTV, and the guy who came to the house today could not have been nicer. He was the perfect DirecTV service technician.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of those people that actually come to your home to fix things that are pleasant.
Why can't everyone be like that?
Not so much pleasant, but just
He was so thoughtful. He knew
Customer
exactly
service.
what I wanted.
Yeah.
He talked me through everything. He showed me how to fix things if it happens again, so we don't have to call him.
right.
So great.
Yay. So we can watch TV again.
Now we can watch TV. And right there's our TV right there with Swish Edition on it. Crazy. So there's some things that are happening which are kind of happening because of COVID-19. Here in Vegas, for one, drive-ins are becoming very popular.
Big time.
you can
I've
go-
actually when's the last time you've been to one? I've
my
been to one
goodness.
maybe
Decades ago.
5 years ago.
Really? That's that.
That
Where was
recent.
this? In
It was-
Delaware?
no, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It was fun.
I bet it is fun.
And I had at that time, I had my Chevrolet Blazer and the back opened. And we had put like big, sleeping bags in the back and brought blankets because
So
it was chilly.
you parked backwards.
We parked backwards
All right.
and we could lay down and it was fun.
That is awesome. I like
Yeah.
that idea. 5
And
years ago.
it's cheap. Yeah.
Huh. Well, I don't know if I've been to one in decades and decades, but I remember my parents used to take us all the time, and my sister and I would watch the first show, and then usually the second show was more adult, and we'd just sleep in the back.
Right.
But I remember I saw Star Wars for the first time when it came out in a police car.
I think
My best friend's dad was a policeman.
I think drive-ins can make a comeback. I prefer that more than going to a traditional theater. That's for sure.
Maybe. And now you don't have to put that little thing on the window.
No,
you can just tune it in on your FM stereo.
Yeah.
And listen to it in the car.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Well, anyway, the reason we brought this up is because here in Vegas, they're doing drag shows now at drive-in theaters.
Well, speaking of this whole thing, is AMC announced that they're possibly going bankrupt.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that on the last show?
Did we?
I think we may have, but yeah,
I mean, that's a big deal. That's one of the largest.
No, I think it's very.
Theater chains.
I think it's very possible. They've probably lost a lot of money, and who wants to go to a movie theater right now?
Right.
I don't know if I do, but what I'm trying to tell you is that drag queens are doing their show here. Edie the Entertainer, who is the host of Cirque du Soleil's Humanity at New York, who's a good friend of Sherry Vines.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen the show, and we've seen her host the show. We've seen it at New York.
Speaking of her, her show's on right now.
Yeah, so we're going to miss Sherry's show because we're taping this during her show.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's okay. We're doing our show.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to do our show, and she has to do her show. Anyway, drag queens and dancers and lots of shenanigans are happening, and people can drive up. The next show is June 13th here at the Freshwater Studios, which is off Diablo Drive in Las Vegas. I think that sounds kind of fun. It's at the Dreamland Drive-In. It's an actual drive-in.
Yeah. There's actually several, apparently, in Las Vegas.
So in the same theme, Garth Brooks just yesterday announced that he's going to be hosting a concert event live at 300 drive-in theaters across North America on June 27th. It's $100. $100 per car. So you can put as many people in the car as you want.
Right, pack it.
But it's $100. You'll be watching a live concert. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Garth Brooks live at the movie theater.
I mean, there's not a lot of opportunity to get to see something live like that. That's actually kind of fun.
Right. Couldn't he just
Would
put
we
it
go?
on? I wish he'd put it on VOD and we could just watch it at home.
Yeah, but could we go if we're just going to go in the car?
I don't know. Is there one in Vegas? We'll have to look it up.
We just know there's one in Vegas. You just said the Dreamland.
Well, no, that's the drag queens. Now this is Dark.
Are they not participating?
I don't know.
Oh, we got to find out. Well, because we know that Garth Brooks was supposed to christen.
It's still on.
Is it?
It's still scheduled. Yeah, he's going to be christening the Allegiant Stadium, which is the place where the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be playing. Yes.
I keep wanting to say the Golden Knights.
They just did announce that they need 4,500 part-time workers to work at that stadium for on game days.
Man, it's so pretty.
Do you think we should go make hot dogs for the hungry fans?
No, I don't know.
For $8 an hour. Hey, this is a callback to a couple shows ago. We were talking about Leslie Jordan, the actor from Will and Grace and a million different things. He was on Designing Women, and he's so funny. And he's been doing
Hilarious.
these quarantine shows of his own on YouTube and Hulu.
He makes
or
Instagram
whatever.
pretty fun.
Yeah. So now you have a chance to hang out with him virtually, just you and him online, on Zoom, I think.
Probably.
It's a benefit, so you have to buy a $10 ticket for a chance to win, but it goes towards a good cause. It's GLSEN, GLSEN. It's an organization, GLSEN?
Mm-hmm.
Organization to create a safe and inclusive schools for all. I mean, of course, schools should be inclusive and safe. So
you get a T-shirt.
You also get a T-shirt that he designed himself,
and he has some cool T-shirts. I was actually thinking about buying us some.
All right,
because they're fun.
I think that's a great idea. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna buy a ticket because how fun would that be for us to talk one-on-one with?
And
Leslie Jordan.
I want to get a shirt. I want to get a shirt because you know how he starts most of his Instagram shows with, "Well, shit."
Yeah, is that the shirt you want?
Yeah,
I like that. Well, why don't we buy a shirt even if we don't win?
Right,
How's
I agree.
that?
Okay,
good.
I'm down.
There's a new Star Wars VR game coming out, Dale, and for VR stands for virtual reality. We don't have the original one, so I want to know why we don't have it. It's called Vader Immortal. Was the original game.
Okay,
and now this new one coming out is called Star Wars: Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, and it's going to be a mix of new and old characters. So R2-D2's probably in there, Vader's probably in there, Stormtroopers, and then some of these newer kids that are on the show now.
BB-8.
Maybe so. It's coming out later this year, but I want to know why we don't have a Star Wars game yet for our system because that
I
would
know.
be so much fun.
All right, I can get it. I can get it today.
We could play it tonight. Although we have Star Trek to watch. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Next up is travel. We're usually big cruisers, and up until the pandemic, actually we're supposed to be on a cruise to Alaska, last week, right? Right? But that got canceled. Canada has essentially killed the 2020 Alaska cruise season for ships over 100 passengers because they don't want any ships coming to Canada until after October 31st.
Yeah.
And because of the Jones Act here in the United States, a foreign flagged vessel, which all the cruise ships are, can't leave from America and only go to America. They have to go to a foreign port. So if you want to leave from Seattle or San Francisco to go to Alaska, you have to go to Canada.
Yeah, you have to.
It's a law.
Maybe this is the perfect opportunity to get rid of that.
I think we should. Well, I think a lot of people think that needs to go. It's stupid, restrictive, and dumb.
Yeah. I mean, because I would love getting on at San Diego and getting off in Seattle.
Right.
Coming home and
you
just
can't do
doing
that.
all the California, Oregon, and Washington coast.
And we had fun doing that cruise, and when we did it from San Diego to Vancouver. We had to end in Canada.
Right.
Or at least go to Canada before we came back to Seattle or
Right.
something. Yeah. So it's stupid, and it's one of these archaic laws that really needs to go away.
Yeah.
But what Canada has essentially done because of these laws is they've killed so many small businesses up there in Alaska that are going to get no tourist dollars this year. Not one.
I mean, that's true. But you think about it, I think it's a stupid law. However, Vancouver's just so pretty. You want to go.
It's gorgeous. And if the cruises could start there, then why couldn't the... No, but they can't because they're not allowed to.
Right.
Yeah, so... poop. Vancouver is gorgeous, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. It's very green. And
green.
it has the weather like Seattle where it's kind of drizzly throughout the day and everything's just kind of wet. But it's very pretty.
I like it wet. You were just talking about these ridiculous cross-country plane flights that are happening right now.
Oh, my God. I just found a $62 flight on American from Philadelphia to Las Vegas.
Nonstop.
Nonstop. Two of them.
$62.
$62. No, it's economy, but
Wow, you're right.
you can't beat that.
You can't beat that with a stick. Except who wants to sit in the back? People who don't know what first class is like probably would be fine.
And the
in
first
back.
class are actually still reasonable too. Like that flight for first class was $950.
Shit, that's a big difference. And you're not getting $900 worth more of shit.
No, you're not.
Because you're not even getting fed right now.
Right, but I don't know if that's changing because this was a flight that I was looking at for July.
It really should change. If you're in first class, you should get food.
At least cocktails.
Yeah. Everybody's so scared about giving food. Like, we go to this restaurant. It's called The Bar. It's literally, that's the name of it. It's called The Bar.
The Bar.
It's about a mile from our house. And it's just a bar with a big, huge O-shaped bar in the middle. And there are several places that have no machines, but then there are several places where you can sit and play poker, video poker, or slot machines, or Keno, or whatever, while you eat and drink. And we like to go there for lunch, and the bartender knows us. She knows us by name and knows what we want to drink, and we get our free food there, and it's fun. The thing is, they're using all plastic plates, plastic forks. They have no menus, so you have to look up the menu on your phone because they're afraid of. And they put partitions. It's just so overkill. Like for some reason you can't have a real glass because that you're going to get COVID from a glass. I mean, just put it through the dishwasher. Right. It'll be fine.
Are you telling me that you're not washing these things before?
Maybe they don't even have a dishwasher. Maybe they're just spit washing them or something. Anyway, it's just so over the top. And then we were at the casino. We were at Cosmo yesterday, and they were bringing our drinks to us, and they're having one of those paper covers over it.
Paper lids.
It's so stupid. Just so stupid. Like someone's gonna.
But it was a glass. But it was a real glass.
Sorry, like someone's gonna spit in it on the way from the bar to your slot machine.
Let's not complain because they're open.
At least they're open.
We're having fun.
All
Let them
right.
do what they have to do.
What do you mean? Don't complain. Oh, that's all I do.
That's all you do.
That's my main job.
It's exhausting.
I know. I do it a lot. Do I do it too much?
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about politics just a little bit? You don't want to talk about this section at all? I mean,
because it invokes.
I want to talk about the first one because it bothers me, and this goes beyond 2020. It goes way back to several years ago when guns became a really horrible thing in this country, and people they want them to go away. But HBO Max has decided that they're going to be revamping the Looney Tunes cartoons from the 40s and 50s. The ones that were shown at movie theaters before movies, and now we all grew up on them. We grew up on Daffy Duck, and we grew up on Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam. And what they've decided to do is take their guns away. So Elmer Fudd is a hunter. He is a hunter who hunts rabbits, but he's not allowed to have a gun anymore. He's going to be using how do you say that word? A scythe? A seath? It's one of those things. It's like a big, long knife at the end of a pole. Okay, they use it to like cut down wheat in the 1800s or something. So that's going to be his weapon of choice. Okay, which is so much more barbaric, I think, than shooting a rabbit in the head.
Right, because if you ever got Bugs Bunny, you're not guaranteed a swift death.
Right. And Yosemite Sam, who is an Old West character who had two guns on each side, is not going to be allowed to have his double pistols anymore. The producers say that the cartoony violence is fine. They'll still have TNT. There'll still be dynamite. There'll still be stuff coming from Acme for the Roadrunner and
Like
the Coyote and the Roadrunner to
what's the heavy thing called? That
an
falls?
anvil.
Yeah.
Right. So all that stuff is allowed. So you can blow them up with dynamite, but you can't shoot them.
Can't shoot them.
I'm not sure if this makes sense to me. It's a PC thing, and it's PC gone crazy.
It's one of those things that I don't know would ever had been brought up in a conversation, and now you just made it part of the conversation.
Right,
and
it
seems unnecessary.
If you had just said nothing, then maybe no one would even have noticed because that's the way it always been.
But that's not what I'm getting at. Not that they would notice. I don't think people care about cartoon violence. What's next? Video games? Is everything gone away? Are we not going to be able to buy this Star Wars thing because it's got violence in it?
I don't know. I'm wondering if that's the road that we're going down.
I mean, are we just cleaning and everything?
We're sanitizing the world.
Sanitizing, that's the word.
It just seems so silly that you can't have a gun, but you can have dynamite. You know?
I mean, the things that
like there have been bad guys that have blew things up.
People know the difference between right and wrong, and if you don't, then there are places that you can go, and we can get help with that.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. That's why I brought it up.
See, we shouldn't have brought it up.
No, we should have brought it up because that's the kind of thing we're talking about entertainment, and this is entertainment that's entertainment gone wrong. Okay, can I press the button?
Yes.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Somebody obviously does. Someone obviously does.
You do.
I'm excited about WGN. You know Superstation WGN in Chicago? That became a worldwide phenomenon a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the first local station that became a national station.
Okay.
So it was a local Chicago station that started showing up on cable systems.
Networks.
Yeah, so you could watch WGN. Anyway,
WGN.
they've gone through many incarnations over the years, but they're now going to be starting a nightly news block from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. to counter-program the very biased, opinion-based news programs on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox in the same hours between 8 and 11, because we know that those three stations are incapable of being impartial in prime time. I mean, it's just the truth.
No, it is. Yeah, they're not news.
CNN and MSNBC are as far left as they could possibly be. Fox News is as far right as it possibly, and they don't even pretend to be news in the evening.
Right.
During the day, they're a different story.
It's a different, yeah.
But at night, it's all opinion. What WGN wants to do is put on a 3-hour block at night, which is news, facts, no opinion. And I like that. And I think that's what America needs.
But I think that those three that you mentioned before have no choice but to do that because there's no real reason of having 24-hour news. There's not a reason anymore.
I think it becomes 24-hour news becomes just kind of addictive, and you can sit there for hours and you just see
And they
you
just
don't
regurgitate.
need, you just
the
don't
same
need that
thing.
much.
Right. So when there's not enough news to report for a 24-hour news station, then you have to come up with ideas to regurgitate the same things, and that becomes opinion shit.
You know what I miss, and they've
Am I allowed to turn the page?
if you do it quietly. HLN, remember Headline News?
Yeah.
Okay, so CNN came out first, and they were 24-hour news, and they had all kinds of different types of programming. Then HLN came out, and every half hour was the news. So they would do a half-hour news program every half hour. It was all the headlines from around the world. I think it was like around the world in 30 minutes. This is headline news.
That. Yeah.
And then they got away from that. But I loved that format because you could turn it on any time of day and get all the headlines from around the world. This is what's happening here. This is what's happening in Paris. This is what's happening with the plane crash today. And then as soon as the half hour was over, they'd start over. And they'd update it all throughout the day. But there was no opinion. There were no panels. It was just fucking news.
And that's one thing that Americans don't get anymore is world news.
I don't want to hear a panel. I don't want the guest to come on. I just want a Walter Cronkite to come on and say, today, the space shuttle blew up. Today, the stock market fell. You just report the news.
And as the United States being one of the first world countries in this whole world, and none of us, we are completely clueless about world news. No one knows what's going on anywhere.
Well, it's because we're so focused on one thing all the time.
Right.
So up until 2 weeks ago, it was COVID. And now it's race. I mean, it's like there's no room for anything else. What's happening in Paris?
Don't know.
What's happening in Hong Kong? I mean, Hong Kong is going through a huge crisis.
Huge stuff.
We need to know what's happening in the world.
Yeah, because they're about to be consumed by China.
Right. We need to know what happened in the NASCAR race last night, but no one's talking about that. PlayStation 5 is coming out.
Oh, we got to buy a new one.
December 2020. So the end of this year. It's really cool. Have you seen the pictures? It's it's black and white, and all the devices and the cases and the accessories are all black and white, and they look like stormtroopers. The whole thing looks like you've bought. Like it was designed by the same guy that designed Stormtroopers.
Should we get it?
Well, how can we not? It's going to come free with Grand Theft Auto, the brand new version of that. And there's about 20 games that have been announced, 20 new games.
But will our VR work with it?
I don't know. We'll have to look it up. But the producers say, worlds will be richer and more beautiful. And they will captivate your senses in ways you never thought possible.
I mean, you look at what we do have upstairs. They're pretty amazing graphics.
They're also saying that the new system will have lightning fast loading. So when you turn it on and you're ready to play a game, it's ready to go within seconds.
I don't find that to be a problem with what we have now.
This is going to be even faster, Dale. It's going to be so fast that it's going to go in reverse. It's going to know you want to play it before you even turn it on.
Before you even get up there.
Right. You'll just think about it. You'll be sitting on the couch thinking, I'm going to go play Grand Theft Auto. And you'll go upstairs and it'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Now, why is Grand Theft Auto allowed, but Elmer Fudd can't have a fucking gun?
I'm telling you, it's only going to be a matter of time.
But you can kill
prostitutes.
You can kill prostitutes and steal other people's cars. But you can't shoot a rabbit with a rifle.
A cartoon rabbit, nonetheless.
Cartoon rabbit. I found this really weird, so I put it in here. I don't know why, but Ridley Scott is making a movie called The Last Duel, which is based on a true story of combat in medieval France in like the 1600s. Okay, this already sounds horrible, except that I found out that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon wrote it. Okay, so I can't even picture Matt Damon and Ben Affleck writing a 16th century medieval dueling movie.
What do you know?
It's a historical drama
Is this Project
thriller.
Greenlight?
Yeah, no. But Ben and Matt are actually in it. Darth Vader's son is also in it. What's his name?
Oh, Adam Driver.
Adam Driver's in it. There's a couple other people. It's coming out on Christmas Day. What a fun Christmas movie that sounds like.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, people don't look at Die Hard.
Did they even have guns in the 1600s? No.
1600s?
Well, it's called The Last Duel. Can you duel without guns? Maybe you can.
I don't know. Guns have been around for a long time.
Not before gunpowder wasn't developed until the 1800s. So they certainly didn't have it in the 1600s.
You say that with a lot of conviction, but I don't know.
I am not looking it up, but I really,
But I will when we get done.
I really don't think guns have been around for 400, 500 years.
They've been around for a long time.
We'll have to look that one up, y'all.
Yeah. All right, let's get this done.
Hey, that's not the way we play this game. Do we want to talk about cops and live PD leaving?
No, because we don't want to talk about politics.
Do we want to talk about Lady Antebellum changing their name to Lady A because Antebellum is too much about the Civil War? Do we want to talk about that?
What's there to talk about? They changed their name.
They changed their name.
Let's make Swish Edition a Walter Cronkite.
Do we want
Lady Antebellum changed name to Lady A?
Do we want to talk about the fact that HBO Max, because of a op-ed that John Ridley, the director and screenwriter of 12 Years a Slave, wrote, they're pulling Gone with the Wind, which is one of the most storied movies of all time. Mm-hmm. They're pulling it off HBO Max because it
this was a big thing all over
glorifies the Civil War era South. It is big news, and it's the kind of thing that we usually don't talk about, except that it is about Gone with the Wind, which is one of the biggest movies of all time. Won the first Academy Award for a woman of color.
Right.
And
I actually watched that video on YouTube not that long the other day.
And I think that Americans are smart enough to know that this is a movie that was made in 1939, and it depicted a time and a people that actually existed here in the United States.
Right.
This war actually happened. We did have slaves, and there were people who were upset about it when they lost, when the South lost. There were people in the South who were not happy that they lost.
Right.
We're not saying that that's a good thing. We're not saying that that was a right way of thinking. But it happened.
It happened.
So you can't erase history. Now, granted, John Ridley doesn't think that Gone with the Wind should be put in a vault and never seen again. What he wants is some kind of disclaimer. Okay. This is what has become of the world. And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a disclaimer, but he wants a disclaimer at the beginning or something to be produced, like a documentary that airs either before or after the movie.
So does this mean that the MPAA is going to add another effing letter?
Yeah, R. Racist.
I mean, seriously.
No, it's true. And I'm not defending Gone with the Wind. I'm not defending the depiction that's in the movie. I agree that it is bad, but it is what it is. It was made when it was made. Disney made Song of the South, which has been pretty much eradicated from the earth. Go try to buy it. You can't. It doesn't exist. And now Disney, there are people calling for Disney to change their ride at Disneyland and Disney World, Splash Mountain, because Splash Mountain is themed to Song of the South. Zippity-doo-dah and Brer Rabbit is there. Mm-hmm. They want to take all those characters and all that music out of it and retheme it as something else because it's a bad movie. But it was a movie that was made before people knew better or...
Right.
Yes. By people who had certain ideas. And I just don't think you can whitewash the world. There are people who think one way, and there are people who think another way. And you can't just decide that you don't want to see things that go against the way you think.
Then don't watch it.
Right. So there's tons of gay shit now on TV. Lots of gay characters on television. There's gay-themed shows all over the place. If you don't like gays, don't watch those shows. Right?
Right.
I don't know if that goes in the same category. It probably doesn't. We're talking about two totally different things. But what I'm saying is that HBO Max doesn't need to get rid of Gone with the Wind. One of the most storied movies of all time. Academy Award-winning movie. We get it. If you have any semblance of education, you know that it was bad to have slaves. Is that all I need to say?
That's all you need to say. I'm not saying anything.
I'm not defending the movie. I'm
know.
not defending the characters.
I know.
I'm not defending Scarlett O'Hara and the way she treated her slaves or her ex-slaves or the fact that she was sad that the South lost. That was all bad.
Bad.
It's a movie. I mean, we watch movies about serial killers. I mean, are you going to get rid of Halloween because it's bad for, crazy people to kill people on Halloween night?
I know. Are they going to get rid of the ID channel? That'd be horrible.
No. All right, so people are very upset about this. HBO Max just came out, 2 weeks ago?
Not long.
1 week ago?
Yeah.
They're already announcing that they're pulling stuff from their channel. They're pulling Wonder Woman, Justice League, Batman vs. Superman, Batman, Catwoman. All the DC movies are going to be gone on July 1st. Why? Because they decided that they're going to rotate their stuff. They're not going to keep all their movies on the streaming platform all the time.
Right.
So if you want to watch Wonder Woman, watch it this week because it's going to be gone next week, which I don't understand. Put all your shit up there and leave it up for people to watch. They're paying to watch it. Why do they need to rotate shit?
It causes urgency to watch something. Sign up and watch it now.
No, it'd be like I'm gonna buy a ticket to Disneyland, but no, Space Mountain's not available this week. Sorry, we just decided we're not going to give it to you this week, but you can get it next week. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. Or you go to McDonald's and like, I'm sorry, we don't have Filet-O-Fish this week. Filet-O-Fish doesn't come out till next week. But you always have Filet-O-Fish. Nope. You got it in the back. No, but you can't have. We got it in the back, but you can't have it. We got the damn movie. You paid to watch Wonder Woman, but you're not allowed to watch it in July. So I'm pissed at HBO Max. There I go, complaining about things again.
Oh, that's funny, though.
It's not funny. It's stupid.
No,
I just want to go play in a mud hole.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Play in a mud hole.
How come we don't have a mud hole to play in?
Because it doesn't rain here.
It's a fun day at the mud hole. So, what to watch, y'all? There are things that I'm very excited about. Today, coming out on VOD, which means video on demand. It was supposed to come out at theaters. It's called The King of Staten Island. What do you think?
I can't wait.
It looks cute.
And I'm not a huge Pete Davidson fan, and there's some things that I read about it. Oh. And one of the things that I read, I think it was from Vulture, it says that if you hate Pete Davidson, don't watch them. It doesn't make it any better or something. Yeah, I think it was just a bad review.
So you're not going to like him better if you watch the movie?
Exactly. Yeah, he brings really nothing to the whole thing.
This is a Judd Apatow movie,
right?
Though.
But
he usually puts out good stuff.
I happen to think that I like Pete Davidson, and the comedy seems kind of dry, which is my kind of thing.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward, but it's like a 2.5 hour movie.
Well, there's something in the trailer that made me laugh and laugh and laugh. So he tells this story. He's sitting with his buddies, I don't know, on a couch or whatever. He's sitting with his buddies.
They're like smoking weed.
Yeah, and he says something about his dad died several years ago. And the other guy goes, knock, knock. And he goes, who's there? Not your dad.
Right.
That's funny.
It's funny to me.
But I'm sure there's people who'd be like, that is horrible. Right. I am so offended. His dad died. He's not alive anymore.
Yeah, but if you know anything about Pete Davidson, that he makes jokes about his dad's death constantly. Right. Constantly.
It's how some
but
people...
I think that's how he's dealing with it.
It's how some people deal with shit.
He died in
a
horrible... Well, the biggest thing that happened to America in a long time.
Oh, did he die in 9/11?
Yeah, he was a firefighter.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, so, yeah, some people deal with stuff. Everyone deals with things differently, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So some people deal with dark humor.
Right.
I mean, I do.
Yeah. No, I do too, because it's...
I mean, I was at a funeral for one of my very, very dear friends, and, sitting next to this girl that I knew really well. This was years and years ago, and we broke out laughing so hard we could not control ourselves at the funeral. It was so horrible, and everyone was like, stop it, what are you doing? You need to leave. Right. And it was just, we were overcome, but it was how we were dealing with it, because otherwise we'd just be
a mess.
A mess.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so watch The King of Staten Island if you want.
I want to.
Unless you're easily offended. Then don't. We're digging Star Trek Picard. I told you guys we were going to start watching that. We started watching it. We're about 8 episodes in.
Yeah,
maybe?
we're a little late to the party because it's been out for a while, but we're digging it.
We're really digging it. And we're actually watching it outside. We got our new TV outside, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
And we'll wait till it's dark out.
I know, because it's going to get cooler.
Yeah. I think next, what do you think about watching Little Fires Everywhere?
Yes.
With Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington.
Yes.
It's based on Celeste, how do you say that name? NG. NG is not a name that I know how to pronounce. Anyway, she's the cutest thing in the world. The woman who wrote the book, Little Fires Everywhere. I saw her on a special on Disney Plus called Disney Insider.
Right.
And she talked about how they went from the book to the TV show and how she's been involved in the process. And it's so cool. And the show looks really great. Very different for both Carrie and Reese.
It's gotten great. And,
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon's been working her butt off.
I know. She's in everything.
Tons of things out
And she's
right
going to
now.
be on your Quibi, too.
Yeah.
What is she doing on there?
Oh, I don't remember.
No.
I do know that CBS is launching their CBS in 60 Minutes, which is CBS.
In 6 minutes.
60 in 6 comes out this Sunday.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Because I can hardly sit through one of their shows.
It's good when there's a good topic that you want to watch.
Of course.
It doesn't happen always.
We tune in when I look and see what's going to be on before I decide to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like Frontline.
Yeah.
Like Frontline's a lot of misses because sometimes I just don't care.
Right.
But every once in a while they'll get something I watch.
You should care about everything, Dale.
But Frontline's nice because there's no commercials, but that's on PBS.
I want to talk more about Disney Plus. There's a great show. Dale and I caught the first episode. It's called Prop Culture. And it's kind of fun. If you guys are interested in behind-the-scenes movie stuff, there's this guy who loves movie and TV props, and he goes out and searches for them. So the first episode was all about Mary Poppins, and whether or not you like Mary Poppins movie or not, the original from the 60s.
Right.
It was really cool how he goes and finds the original people who were in the movie or worked on the movie, and he finds the artwork, and he finds the costumes, and he finds... he found
the broom sweep.
Right,
the chimney
chimney
sweep.
Yeah, and he found the horses from the carousel that Dick Van Dyke and what's her name rode. Really cool. So we've only watched the first episode, but I'm looking forward to the Nightmare Before Christmas episode and Pirates of the Caribbean.
There's a lot of episodes, though.
So it's coming.
And they're like an hour, so you actually get to watch something. Because the other one that we watched were like 5-minute pieces.
Yeah, this is more of a half-hour or 45-minute show.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And then another one that I'm looking forward to on Disney Plus is Diary of a Future President. So it's actually about this little kid, a little girl. I guess she's like 12.
Yeah.
And she's dealing with high school or grade school or whatever grade she's in. But then it also flashes to the future because she actually becomes the president of the United States. Yeah.
Oh.
And Aisha,
so is she
Aisha Tyler's in it.
So is she like writing back to herself?
I think there's some writing involved, yeah. So it's kind of flash forward, flashback, flash forward, flashback. So I think it'll be kind of interesting. And she's a Latina, so she's like the first Latina president of the United States, which I think is kind of cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's also, Disney Plus has Phineas and Ferb, a new movie coming out.
Yay.
I think it might be one of my favorite cartoons of all time. Phineas and Ferb is funny shit. And it's very well done.
Okay.
Have you guys ever seen it? Have you seen it?
I've seen a couple of
You've
episodes.
seen Phineas and Ferb. It's great. I mean, it's not as good as like the Flintstones, but...
Or Cat Dog.
Right? Or Space Ghost. Or Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch.
Oh, my God. Shut up.
Or Captain Caveman!
Hey, that's the best one. That's the best.
We did. I know we were telling you guys before when we were on. We were watching Outer Banks. We finished Outer Banks. That's on Netflix. We loved it. Even though John B, the guy who plays John B, he's supposed to be 16 years old. He's actually 27 in real life. So he's 11 years old.
He looks really young.
He doesn't look 16. And apparently all the cast are in their 20s, but none of them are 16. And the sheriff on there, Sheriff Peterkin, don't say anything about her portrayal on the show, but was played by Adina Porter, which we know from American Horror Story, and she was Tara's mother on True Blood.
True Blood.
I love her. She's been in so much stuff.
Yeah.
I think
and she was good in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was really good.
She was almost kind of the same almost because
Yeah.
she just had those facial features that makes her look kind of crazy.
I'm on the fence about Space Force, which is Steve Carell's new show.
It's got nothing but horrible reviews.
It's on Netflix. It's got bad reviews. It's just a bad show. Although everyone who's reviewed it says that the production values are really great. That it looks good. They obviously spent a lot of money on it, but it was just a bad just a stupid thing to do a show about.
Yeah. And I'm not a huge fan. I'm actually a bigger fan of Steve Carell in drama than I am in his comedy.
He was so good on the morning show, and if you guys haven't seen that, I mean, you guys
And he
have
the
to
morning
get it.
show and the way back and
Yeah.
all those drama. I like him better in those than I like his comedy.
Yeah, that might be true. I mean, I love him on The Office, but
He was funny in The Office, but that's the only comedy.
right. All right, you ready to go?
Yes.
Which button is it? I forget. All right. Our apologies to Matt Damon because we ran out of time.
Oh, and good night, Seattle, and good mental health.
And if you get it on tape, you can get it on cash.
That's all, folks.
Bye.
You're listening to the Swish Edition.